So I've had the CB500X now for 2 years, done 36,000 kilometers on it. I thought it's about time I did another review now I've had some time on it. It's just been a very, very reliable bike. I've done 10 to 12 hour days on it, big tours. It's just been a dream. The only things I've added to it are I got a radiator protector there that I put on for riding the dirt road so the rocks don't smash my radiator up. I got the new pipe, the Staintune pipe, which was given to me by a great friend, 2B1 on roadie. That's made the bike sound great and perform even a little bit better than it was. My luggage, I've got the bags connection, panniers, and just a backpack put on the back seat there as a tail bag. And I've got a USB output just for my cameras and things for charging, and that's all I've done to it. Otherwise it's basically a standard CB500X with ABS. I've put truly road tyres on it, they're Pilot Road 4s. I do dirt roads, I don't do them fast, I don't do them enough to make it worth getting off-road tyres on there and just wearing them out on the road. That's what would happen for me, so I just go nice and slow. If I'm doing a lot of dirt road, I'll let the tyres down about 10 psi, that seems to help. So the bike's been beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's very strong. It has a range of about, depending on how you ride it, 350 to over 400 kilometers in a 17-litre tank. It's very good, very strong bike. Like I said, I've had it for 2 years. It's just been brilliant. Yes, I did leave out a few things. One is, of course, the helmet hook, which I got from Mr. Oz Adventure, and I'll show you a link as to where you can buy them. It's very handy. You can lock your helmet onto that, so you can leave it on your bike without hanging on your mirrors. He hates me doing that. The other thing I forgot to mention was I got a new chain and sprockets at 30,000 kilometers. It didn't really need it, but it was starting to get sticky bits on the chain, even though I do clean and lube the chain every 500 to 800 kilometers, depending on what the weather conditions were. Oh yes, there was one other thing. Originally it was using a fair bit of oil. It's never leaked any, but it was burning it through the engine. Honda said that's kind of normal, it'll settle down. It has a lot. I was using, well still am actually using slightly thicker oil than usual, but I'm using very, very little oil. I was using as much as about a litre for maybe 2,000 kilometers, which was a lot, I thought, but they said it was within reason and it has settled down. Something to do with valves, who knows, technical shit. Anyway, hopefully that's it for everything I forgot to mention. I found the bike just rides like a dream over everything. I mean, on the long roads, I think it's got enough power to cruise on the highway very easily. You know, anybody who's ridden a bigger bike would notice it's sitting fairly high on the revs, about 5,000 revs to do 100 and 110 kilometers an hour, which is, you know, 60 plus miles an hour. You know, many other bikes will sit on 3,000 or 4,000 and do that if they're bigger bikes. It doesn't really bother me. For what's essentially a lamb's bike, in other words a learner approved bike, it's amazing. It's got amazing power, it's amazingly durable. I haven't grown out of it. I know a lot of people will. That's a very personal choice about whether you want to, you know, keep getting a bigger bike or upgrading or whatever. I don't. This is just great. I mean, one of the things is I didn't ride a bike for decades because I was too young and too foolish, and I knew that. Somehow I just knew I would just do myself harm if I rode a motorbike, so I avoided it. I did myself enough harm on a push bike in London for many years, wrote many of them off. So So the thing about the 500X is I can just give it lots of throttle and it won't throw me off the back, it won't go beyond my abilities. So yeah, lots of people might like more horsepower. To me, there's plenty on here. So that's my 500X. 2 years down the track, still really happy with it. Got no intention of upgrading or changing to another bike. If I had the money, I'd probably have 5 or 6 bikes, but I don't. I have this one wonderful bike which was priced incredibly. You know, for $8,000 Australian, I got this thing. For a brand new bike, that's quite amazing how good quality this is. I think the one thing I do hear people complain about with the X is the suspension. I think I'm just not experienced enough to know. The suspension seems pretty good to me. I know that when I tried the Tiger 800, the suspension was better. There wasn't so much big bumped around. But when I compare this to the VTR 250 or the Kimco we used to have, the 125, the suspension on this is much better. So good enough for me. Yeah, like I said, I don't have the experience to really understand suspension thoroughly. So not for me to comment. Anyway, I hope anybody who's looking for their first bike or even looking to downgrade, might find this interesting. I have had quite a few, well, dozens of people stop and admire this bike when I've been out on the road on tours. These people have been riders who've ridden everything from, they're everything from learners to people who've been riding 40 years. And some of the veterans were saying, wow, look, I should get a bike like that. It's just reliable, cheap to run. I don't know why I need this big bike anymore. It takes too much fuel, all that sort of thing. So, could be a useful bike for anyone. Anyway, back to concentrating on what I'm doing. Captain Cranky, aye.